In this video, we're going to go over how to create a bill of materials, assign it to a container, and use it to manage your trays. So first, we'll navigate to the inventory section and the bills of materials. And you can see the BOMs that we already have here. You hear me say BOM, standing for bill of materials. So let's open one of these up to talk about what a bill of materials is. A bill of materials is essentially a template for what should go in a tray. So we create this recipe, for lack of a better term, and then assign it to a tray, and it tells us how many of each device should be in that tray. And then using that bill of materials, we can see where that tray is short. And then we also have this new inventory type called packs. We'll deal with that in a different video, but you can actually use a bill of materials to create packs and then manage the component items of a sterile packed item. But for today, we're just looking at bills of materials and containers. So let's create one. To create one, click New BOM, or you can duplicate an existing BOM and then make your adjustments, but we're going to start from scratch. Then select Default, or if you're going to create packs, you can select packs, but that's not what we are walking through here. So create a name for your bill of materials. And you'll notice I said custom tray, because bill of materials are a great way to manage custom trays to meet surgeon preferences. So if you have a surgeon that likes a particular configuration of devices, or perhaps they like extra of a certain device, or whatever their preference is, and when a tray gets shipped to them, that tray will need that special configuration, you can use bills of materials to manage these. When a tray needs to be outfitted to send to a particular surgeon, all you do is trade out the bill of materials for the one pertaining to that surgeon, and you can really easily change that tray to match. So moving forward, all we do is just select the items that belong in this tray. So using this drop-down menu, you can select the catalog numbers. Since you probably know what you're looking for, you can type in the catalog numbers and find them that way, and then enter what the required quantity will be. So I'm essentially saying every tray with this bill of materials should have 5 of this device in it in order to be considered complete. We do allow you to enter a minimum and a maximum quantity so you can manage a range. However, the system really only functions using the required quantity. So these are just guidelines if you're going to use the min and max. So make sure you update those required quantities, and when everything looks good to you, click Create. That will create your bill of materials. And if we scroll down here, we can take a look at what the contents should be. You'll also notice these counts and these containers possible numbers. The count shows how many of that device you have in your inventory. And then the containers possible shows, given the required quantity, how many possible containers could you outfit using the entire quantity available to you. But our next job is to now assign this to a container. So I can assign containers in this section, but I'm going to do this manually. So if I navigate to my all inventory and then change the filter to containers, I can pull up a container and we can see here that it does not have a bill of materials attached. So if I click on bill of materials, there's the one we just created. I can even add a new one if we haven't, but I'll select the bill of materials. And after the page saves, we can scroll down. And now that we've added that bill of materials, we can see we have this bill of materials section here. And if we open this up, we can see the bill of materials that we added listed out here in this table, showing us how many devices are actually in the container and whether we have an excess or a shortage. And then we can go about actually fixing these. So you can click the Auto Refill All button, which will refill the shortages for you very easily just using the inventory available in your account. And then it'll tell you what those lots are so that you can go pick them and physically put them in the tray and fix those shortages in the real world. However, if you already picked the devices and already fixed these shortages and you need to select the devices that you picked, you can do that by clicking the Fix Shortages button one by one. So if I were to do that, it'll bring up this inventory search window for me. and I can just select the devices from my inventory to populate in that tray. And once that's done, you'll see our shortage has been fixed and now it's listed as complete. If we have an excess, we can fix the excess by removing that inventory. So the system's allowing us to designate how much we're going to remove, which we need to select 20, so that we'll have 50, or we need to select 20, so that we'll have 5 left. And I'll click Remove Items, and we can see that that excess has been fixed. So you would go through and do this for all of those items, or again, we could use the auto refill option. And then that's how we can make sure that all our containers are ready to go and can be shipped out. So that's how you can use bills of materials to manage container stock levels. Tune in to our next video for more about how to manage your inventory.